I don't know why I didn't think that being a YouTuber meant you were a content creator. In 2023, I started a YouTube nail art channel, and it's kind of been a disaster so far. So let's dive into it. I want to talk about the biggest mistakes that I made and what I wish someone had told me when I started my YouTube channel. You should grab a cup of tea. It's gonna be a pretty long one. I'm not gonna put a bunch of B-roll and whatever because I don't want to spend 20 hours editing this. So you can treat it as a podcast or you can watch me talk. My first mistake was not introducing myself, and that's why I'm doing a talking head video. My videos were a bit soulless, if I'm being honest. Initially, I was really scared to introduce myself, actually. When I started my channel, I didn't even do voiceovers. I just did the tutorials with like captions describing, and I even wanted my channel to be like an ASMR channel, but I always watched YouTube or Netflix when I was doing my nails, so I couldn't take any of the audio from that and make it an ASMR channel. I was really scared that people would be put off of my nail art if they didn't like me or my voice or the way that I looked or my nails. Ironically, the first time that I started wearing gloves in my videos, it wasn't even because of safety, which I will go into. It's because I was scared that people were going to look at my nails and it was going to be distracting from the other hand that was actually being painted. At the time, I didn't think my mental health could handle it. Like, I thought I was going to get like cyberbullied or something. That is a genuine fear. I was really scared that people would leave mean comments and say horrible things about me. I'm a lot less scared of that now that I know how the YouTube and social media algorithms work, because it's all engagement, right? So if someone wants to leave like a really mean comment, you're fat and ugly, you're giving my video engagement, like, thank you. I saw a lot of nail art creators that were just posting like either no voiceover, no face, nothing, just their art. And I think when you are very good at nail art or art in general, you can let it speak for itself. You don't have to like introduce yourself if you don't feel comfortable doing that. But for me, as a beginner, I think it would have been important to let people know who they're supporting, who they're giving their attention to. And hiding my personality was just really weird. It didn't feel authentic. And when I look back at my analytics, some of my highest performing videos were videos where I did a voiceover, where I didn't over edit it, and where I let myself ramble a little bit and let my personality show. So this is me. I like nail art. I've been doing nails for about 5 years now, actually. I first started doing nails because I used to bite my nails a lot, and painting them helped me stop that. Not really, but it helped a little. Slowly fell in love with the process, and ironically, ever since I started doing nails, my own nails have just been ugly all the time, but it's fine. It's kind of become a bit of a hobby / obsession now, and I really enjoy it. I think it brings out my creativity. So this is a periodic table mug. It was a gift. I really love it. It's my favorite mug. Anyways, don't introduce yourself too much. And I think that's one thing that I did right. There's settings on YouTube, TikTok, most streaming platforms where you can filter out certain keywords from your comments. And one thing you should do is filter out your phone number, your address, especially if you're a woman. Just make sure that people cannot just publicly dox you, essentially. If you're sharing screenshots or work with me vlogs or anything like that, just make sure your address, your personal details are not in there. Let's say you're unlocking your laptop in front of your camera, make sure you take that out, because there's people out there that will literally slow down the footage and like try and like hack you, basically. Also, if you're gonna start like a business, which I did, like I started Black Ice Nails Limited as a company in the UK, make sure you don't put your own address as the company address, because anyone who goes online and looks up your company can see your address. So what I did is, this is not sponsored, they don't know I exist, but I use Tide, and what you can do with Tide is you can pay to have like a PO box, your company be registered to that PO box, and then whatever mail comes for you, they'll just email you a copy. I think that's really worth doing. Like, I wasted a lot of money on this YouTube channel, and I will talk about that soon, but that's one thing that I never regretted doing, because you never know, people are just messed up, so just be safe. The second mistake I made was paying for branding for my channel on Fiverr. I'm not saying don't pay for branding, but in my case it was a mistake, and here's why. I didn't know what my brand wanted to be when I started. I actually only paid for branding because I knew myself, and I knew that if it was up to me and I had to create something myself, I would overthink it and I wouldn't leap into action. And it was really important to me that I actually just got started as quickly as possible and didn't overthink it at the start. And so I paid someone to do a bunch of branding for me. I sent them some pictures of some logos that I liked, and ultimately it kind of led to this soulless design. I won't embarrass myself by saying how much I paid, but it was bad. And I didn't even end up liking the design in the end, even after like 2 revisions. I'm not gonna say it was a scam. The person obviously did their job, They were super responsive, super helpful. But because I didn't have a clear idea of what I wanted my brand to be, there's no way that I could communicate that to a designer, right? Another thing is, this was kind of a band-aid of me not overthinking things and getting things done. But the problem is, when you have a YouTube channel, not overthinking and just putting things out there, that is part of the things that you need to learn to have a YouTube channel. And so I was gonna have to deal with the procrastination and perfectionism eventually. So this really was just a band-aid. It didn't help. And actually, it led to my branding being quite inconsistent. I went through this phase where like every time I would look at my YouTube channel, I just hated the way that it looked. And so I changed my branding like 3 or 4 times. Even though it appeased me at the time, it was probably a bit jarring for my viewers. Like every time you go to a channel, it's like a completely different look. And it also meant that I didn't have any like nice intros or transitions in my videos. So the videos themselves were not consistent in how they were edited and styled, because ultimately I was just trying to find my video editing style. The third mistake, and I think this was my biggest mistake, was listening to YouTube advice that just didn't align with my goals. Tea break. In my job, I have to Google things a lot. Like I spend all day Googling things. And in my personal life, whenever I don't know how to do something, I will also just Google it. And so when I was starting a YouTube channel, it was very natural for me to just Google like how to have a YouTube channel, how to do well on YouTube. And turns out there's a whole niche of people, like, and it's a huge niche too. These videos get like millions of views of like how to make it on YouTube. And all of them focus on the same things of like posting very consistently, of, you know, upgrading your audio, lighting, and they all focus on the same goal, which is to get monetized. Because a lot of it is for like, oh, how to become a full-time creator, or how to quit your job so you can do content like YouTube full-time. And this was never what I wanted to do. I really thought that by starting a YouTube channel, I would just do my nails like every 2 or 3 weeks, and then I'll post it and that's it. But I ended up going down this like rabbit hole of people telling me that I needed to buy like a backdrop and like a professional, like the Rode mics and all these like video editing tricks. And I consumed so much of that content, and it was so detrimental because I started having these goals that were just, oh, get monetized, get 1,000 subscribers, get 4,000 watch hours, put out a video every week, regardless of how you feel, regardless of, you know, whether you're actually proud of the art you did, because nail art takes time, especially as a beginner. And so it's actually not realistic to film a video in one hour or less than that, you know, because it takes time to plan the design, to actually do it, to do the test nails, to set up the space and clean it if you don't have like a fully functioning nail space. I'm rambling. The point is, I had a lot of goals that didn't actually align with why I started a YouTube channel in the first place. And because of that, I really felt unhappy with my YouTube channel. I felt like I was doing my art a disservice by presenting it in a pretty lazy way, because I was really bad, and still kind of am pretty bad at editing videos. And I definitely don't enjoy that process, by the way. I don't enjoy the process of filming, editing, thumbnails, uploading descriptions. I don't know why I didn't think that being a YouTuber meant you were a content creator. I had no idea. And this was such a shock to me. And the same thing applies to Instagram and TikTok. Like, I really didn't think that by being on Instagram, or that I was gonna have to learn like how to edit shorts, how does the TikTok algorithm work, how to use hashtags. I never want YouTube to be my full-time job. I actually really like my full-time job. This is a hobby for me, and the goal was always to share my art with other people, document my improvement, learn about content creation. And yeah, maybe I'll make a little bit of money on the side, but honestly, after how much I spent, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think this is gonna be profitable. Why did I hyper-focus on things like getting 1,000 subscribers? It was because of the content that I was consuming. And I was consuming a lot of it. It's not an MLM scheme, but it was like something very similar. Like, I'm on YouTube learning how to make it on YouTube. It was just not good. And I'm not gonna say that these videos were entirely useless, because right now I have like my IKEA lamp and I've got a tissue like draped over it to diffuse the light. So I learned some things, but I think it fed into my perfectionism. Instead of working on my YouTube channel, I was watching videos on how to work on my YouTube channel. And I felt like I was doing everything wrong. There was an overload of information. It was very overwhelming. I was overthinking a lot. And I was following advice that wasn't relevant to me. One time, I spent 2 hours, no, actually it was more like 3-4 hours making my captions in lots of different languages, because I saw that like Mr. Beast does this, and like this is how he improves the reach of his videos. And I was like, well, if Mr. Beast does it, then it must be great. This is gonna increase my reach, because now people in, you know, the Czech Republic can watch my videos. When the problem with my videos was never that, right? People were clicking off 1 second in. They don't care like what language the captions are in, because they were never getting that far. And because of this, I actually ended up not doing nails for a really long time. I think I went like 2 or 3 months without even doing my own nails. Every time I would want to do my nails, I just started thinking, oh, well, I don't want to set up the filming, and I forgot to charge my camera, blah, blah, blah. So it actually meant that I wasn't doing the thing that I set out to do in the first place. For a few weeks now, I've actually been like super mindful about the content that I consume on YouTube. I've shifted more towards content in the art space, the design space, and learning from those type of videos about how to present my nail art. And I think a lot of it is really relevant to the nail art space actually. If you are thinking of learning how to do YouTube, stay away from the how to make it on YouTube videos and try to go towards the, you know, the Polymer Clay girlies, the Procreate girlies. Their videos are great to watch when I'm doing nail art actually. They're just super calming and relaxing, and it felt a lot more soothing than watching a video that was like, here's how to make it big on YouTube, where it's just like very aggressive. So it helped me kind of slow down and focus on myself and what I want to do as well. Number 4, and this one was really bad, and one of the main reasons why I stopped doing nail art on this channel, and is that I didn't know or care about nail safety. I genuinely had no idea. I only started caring about nail safety when on my personal account on TikTok, I came across the Healthy Nail Collaborative, and they were talking about how gel can cause allergies and overexposure. And I was like, oh, okay, well, let me start wearing gloves. And then I started wearing gloves, and I didn't think much about it after that. And what ended up happening is I actually ended up getting a gel allergy. I didn't understand why did I get a gel allergy after I started wearing gloves. Like, was I allergic to the gloves? Was it a new product? I really didn't know at the time. I figured it out since, and if you're interested, it's because acetone actually goes through most gloves within 10 minutes. So when you're painting your nails, not only do you need to wear gloves, but you actually need to change them out. And then you need to wash your hands super thoroughly after you're done. If you're painting your own nails, just really avoid getting the gel on your natural nails. I'm gonna put some links in my description and probably up here in the video on the Healthy Nail Collaborative. They have like a super cheap, essentially course on nail safety that I think if you're interested in doing nail art on YouTube, you should take. But when I look at my old videos on YouTube, honestly, I took down a lot of them. And part of that is because I'm looking at it and I'm seeing a lot of mistakes with safety. And this was just like, it got me thinking, like, I'm not qualified to be posting tutorials on YouTube, and help me kind of lean into the identity of like, I am a beginner, do not learn from me. And that's kind of the branding that I've gone with on my short form content, and what I'm gonna go with on my YouTube as well, because I'm looking at the videos, and especially the older ones, I'm flooding my cuticles, I'm rolling out toy gel with my hands, I'm not wearing gloves, I'm cutting my cuticle. I felt like I could have been harming people if they were looking at my videos and trying to learn from them. Yeah, I should have cared more about it. Luckily, you know, my fingers are like fine. I don't have any issues with the allergy anymore. It was mild because I knew what to look out for, and I've been a lot more careful since then and haven't had any more like issues. And I also found a brand of gloves that's like quite thick around the fingertips as well, so that's been really helping. I'll post it in the description, although I've only been using it for a few weeks. Number 5 is I bought way too much crap. I don't know how else to put it. I did look at how much I spent, and it's very embarrassing. I spent over maybe 3,000 pounds, like Great British pounds. And like, there's no way I can justify this, by the way. Like, some of these were just like absolute, like complete waste. At one point I was considering getting a thermal printer for the shop that I have since closed down, which had gotten 0 orders. But in my mind, I was so delusional. I was like, well, when I get 100 orders in one day, I'm gonna really benefit, it's an investment. Like, no. Yeah, my issues with spending and impulsivity definitely seeped into my YouTube channel. And I found myself investing in materials rather than investing in skills. When my videos came out bad, I was like, okay, well, I need a better camera. I need a better mic. I need better lighting. I have like 4 ring lights that I hate for various different reasons, to the point where I'm filming this using like my latest light that's just like a super bright IKEA lamp. I bought so many polishes, stands, SD cards, camera batteries, packaging supplies. I'm gonna go into that in a minute. And this does link to what I said previously, that I was really influenced by the YouTube content. It kind of made it seem like, oh, if you buy all these things and you have the perfect setup, then your video is gonna come out good. But in reality, my videos weren't bad because I didn't have the perfect light. They were bad because I didn't know how to make videos, and I'm still learning how to make videos, right? I didn't like, it doesn't matter if you have the most perfect light, if you've got it pointed in the wrong direction, or your camera like white balance is set to the wrong value, or your script sucks, or your video idea sucks. It's not gonna matter, like the material that you have. And this is something I was able to do because I do have a full-time job, and this is my hobby, one of very few hobbies. So I didn't really mind spending money on it, especially because this was over the course of like 8 months, right? And I was just solving problems with money rather than solving them by being creative or acquiring new skills. But the thing is, as a beginner, you don't know what is a good thing to buy. So just because you're buying something expensive doesn't mean that it's right for your niche or your channel. I was influenced into buying so many useless things that I didn't need. I bought a camera because people recommended it and they were like, oh, this is a great camera, which it is for talking head. But in 2023, when I'm trying to film nails, I need a 4K camera, and my camera couldn't film in 4K. So that was a really big oversight on my part. And when people say you should start with your phone, they're saying that for a few reasons, but one of them is that modern phones actually do a lot of heavy lifting when it comes to editing, autofocus, and light balancing, that as a beginner, and especially as someone who's not into photography or videography, you're not gonna know how to do. If you've got an iPhone, like straight up, if you've got an iPhone, you're gonna be fine. Film with your iPhone. There's a lot of videos on how to change your iPhone settings. And before you invest in a camera, you should just invest in some storage for your phone. I think that's so much better. If you're gonna spend money on learning skills. Get certified, learn about nail safety. Or you can even like spend money on an editor if that's something you really don't want to do. So spend money in a way where you know you're gonna get that money's worth. And at one point I really had to stop myself and be like, just because you can afford to like waste money on this doesn't mean you should, right? Create a budget for your YouTube channel, because you will need to spend some amount of money, I believe, but it shouldn't be a crazy amount, and it shouldn't like put you in a position where you're surprised by how much you spent, because it really does add up. I'm doing some water because my voice is getting like fucked up. I'm gonna take that out because I don't want to get demonetized. I'm not monetized. I can actually say whatever I want. Free Palestine. I said what I said. Anyways, I tried to monetize my YouTube way too quickly, and not just my YouTube, but like my nail art. I started a press-on nail shop, and I was really excited about that. I had a Shopify store and everything, and this actually led to some of my overspending. I started marketing myself like as a business, and this as well just felt super inauthentic, because at the end of the day, I just want to make nail videos and I just want to share my nail art. And even though I would love it if people liked my art enough to be like, hey, I really want you to do that for me, because I do enjoy doing nails, I'm not going to force it. And I think this is a good segue to talk about what I'm doing next with my YouTube channel. So I'm not quitting YouTube. I'm still going to be here. You won't be seeing as many tutorials from me. I'll do some shorts of some of the designs I'm doing. I will do some videos talking about my experience, like behind the scenes of creating nail content, because I think it would be great if you can come along this journey with me and learn the things that I'm learning the hard way, because I don't see a lot of people talking about it. I think I tried to look up videos on how to take photos of your nails, and like they were all so old. All these videos were like from 2019 or something. So I want to document the things that I've learned. I closed my Shopify because it was like £25 a month for like 5 months, but I was getting 0 sales, so it was just a complete waste of money. And also because it was really difficult for me to manage, and I ran into the same issue with it as I did my YouTube channel, where I would just look at it and hate it and change it. So it was too much work. So I did switch to Etsy. I'm gonna be putting a few sets up there if you're interested in buying my press-ons, but if you're not, that's completely fine. Like, I'm very open, honest about the fact that I'm a beginner and I'm learning. And honestly, the main reason why I want people to buy my press-ons is, or like my custom sets specifically, is not because I want to make money from it. Like, it's actually not like that profitable comparing to like other things I could be doing, but it's just because I want to have more sets to create so that I can make more content with it. Because right now it's kind of like I'm having to come up with all the designs myself, Whereas if someone came to me and they were like, here's an inspo or here's an idea and I want you to create it, then that actually takes like some mental load off my plate because I don't have to create the design from scratch. But I'm going on a tangent again. Basically, I did close my Shopify. I need to update those links. Probably will do it by the time I upload this video and move to Etsy. I'm not doing this thing where I upload every week on YouTube. I'm sorry, it's not happening because it just led to some really poor quality nail art. There's one video that I like flopped so badly and I'm so embarrassed that I even put it out, where it's just a bunch of charms on a poorly done ombre. And if you saw that video, I would like to personally apologize because it's not how I want to present my art or my skills. And this is what happens when I'm trying to force myself to finish a video at like 2 a.m. and I've got work in the next morning and I don't want to put away the camera and then put it back, so I have to force myself to power through. Not going to do that anymore. I'm going to take my time with my designs, create designs that I am like genuinely happy to put out there. If you want to see more of my nail designs, things that I don't post on YouTube, then please feel free to follow my Instagram, follow my TikTok. There's going to be a lot more content on there. For YouTube, I'm going to focus on just more behind the scenes and more interesting things, at least until I feel comfortable putting out tutorials again. Like if I post a picture on Instagram and people are actually asking for a tutorial, then maybe I'll do a tutorial on YouTube, but that won't be the default. I want to minimize the amount of time that I'm spending on making content and maximize the amount of time that I'm spending actually getting better at doing nails, because that is the hobby that I signed up for, not this. I rambled a lot. I'm not sorry about it, but yeah, if you're here, thank you. Please leave a comment if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to answer, and I might even do a Q&A. I might do like I'm moving out soon, so I might do like a reorganizing my nail space. Drink your tea.